Welcome to my farm in Big Flats, Texas. Been working here for a couple of years, and I decided let's start a Let's Play series on this. This is a great farm. This is a great map here at Big Flats, Texas, and I can definitely show you around a bit. Well, you'll get to see as we go along. We own a few fields here. Well, let's see, we own 3 fields here. Now, right now, we are in June, right at the end of June for us, and we have this field here, which is 18.5 hectares. It's a pretty good size field. It's the largest one that we own. And we just planted soybeans on there, and that's fertilized. Here, let's hop in our tractor and take a look around. I'm setting stuff up right now for July. So we just got done. I just got done harvesting earlier in June. I harvested our winter wheat and reseeded soybeans right into the ground on this field, as the next field will show you. Just finished fertilizing it. I haven't rolled it. I'm not going to. Oh, and this is a beautiful map. When you see this map, I feel like this is unmistakably, you know, northern Texas or Oklahoma. This countryside is beautiful. I picked this map very carefully. Anyway, this farm here is going really good this year. So we just harvested this month the winter wheat and put down soybeans on our 18 hectares here. Now I'll take you over to the other field. This farm brings in pretty good money here in Big Flats, Texas. You bring in pretty good money, enough that I was able to afford this tractor solely for the purpose of getting around faster. To be honest, this is definitely this is a John Deere farm. We have a John Deere dealership here, and most of our equipment's John Deere. I decided to get the JCB Fast Track because you really need to be able to get around faster on this map. With the amount of straw that I brought off that field, made about $400,000 just in the straw, just off that field, and running it back and forth to the store. You need something faster. You really do. You spend all day just running straw back and forth. So that's where we're running this tractor. Down there we got the grain mill, the bakery down there. Over there is a train depot. Here's one of the larger fields on the map right here. Maybe someday we can own a field like this. That's about 120 acres. That's about 50 hectares right there. Now, this field is the same as the first one I showed you. It's about the same size too, if I'm not mistaken. A little smaller. It's about 16 hectares. And here we harvested last year's winter wheat crop, and we have soybeans down. They're all, well, first stage of fertilization anyway. First stage of fertilization, same as the other one. We're going to have to fertilize those next month. And we have one more field, a smaller field of about 8 hectares. Way down there, see that water tower off in the distance. We have a field there with oats. Now, I only harvested about half of it this month. I wanted to see how the oats are. Here on this map, you can harvest oats in the last growth phase. I want to see the yield and the straw that I got from what I harvested here in the last growth phase versus next month. So I'll see how that goes. So I'm about ready to pack it in here for June. Yep. So we're going to end it here, right at the end of June. I'm still got the harvester out here because we're still going to use it for the oat field. Now those are the only 3 fields I have right now. I'm looking to get some more fields, some more equipment. We can see more of the kind of things that we have here as I get to use them. Every piece of equipment we have here on this farm is for a purpose. I'm always getting new equipment. There's some new equipment we have up here. Up here you can see I've recently purchased a brand new seed drill, but I don't yet have the air cart to go with it. These are really expensive pieces of machinery. So that is a work in progress. This seed drill right here is going to be this is a huge upgrade over this that we have been using. But I need about $400,000 just to buy the air cart to go with it. With big fields like this, you make good money. You make a lot of money, but there's a lot more expenses. You know, a lot more expenses. All right, here we are in July. And it looks like we have rain forecasted for today. Let's have a look at that so I know what we're working with. All right, so 11 o'clock, it's going to rain for a little bit. That's not too big a deal. The field work we have to do, we can get done by then. So what we need to do is, well, so this month, our soybeans are coming in nice. One thing about Big Flats, Texas, the soybeans here are planted in rows. It looks really nice and neat. There's a lot of really cool custom things with this map, and this is one of them. There's many more things you'll see as we farm here. The soybeans grow in rows here. So these are only one stage of fertilization, so we need to fertilize both of these 18-hectare fields, and that's pretty quick work with machinery we have. It's not too bad. And we're going to go harvest the rest of the wheat. I'm sorry, the oats. Harvest the rest of the oats. I want to check that field, see how that's doing. I'm going to drive this tractor down there because we have a trailer down about that way. We need to take up and bring down there anyway. Actually, the trailer we have down that way actually needs to come to these fields, I think, because we got harvesting work to do down there. So let's take a drive down through here. There we got some, I'm not sure what that is, growing. Well, it's not our field. All the fields here are pretty big. The smallest fields are about 8 hectares. The medium-sized fields on this map are about 20, like this, thereabouts. And the large fields are about 50, 60. So somewhere down here I should have it's a tanker trailer that I have parked, and I wheel it around to refill the sprayer. I was bringing it towards the oat field down there, but we're going to need it here for the soybeans first because we got to fertilize these now that they've grown a little bit. And I believe I've parked it somewhere on this road. There it is. There it is down here. It's great to move around on this map. There's traffic, but it's only on that one road over there, so we can move our big equipment around easily on these roads. In fact, even our big bud tractor that we have, I was able to take it home from the dealership, and I'm able to drive it on that road. Even with the traffic, I can make room for the big bud tractor. It's great to be able to move around here. So here we've got fertilizer that we're going to need on this field here. I was taking it to the oat field, but we're actually going to need it here first. And it could definitely use a refill, but this should be good for now. Well, now let's go ahead and fill this up a little bit. Let's get this filled, because I'm going to go through a couple tanks of fertilizer between this field and the one over out west off the road. It's flat here, but you notice it's not that flat. It's just not flat enough that you can see the horizon in the distance. I really like it a lot. The terrain here is just excellent. One thing about farming in Texas, or going anywhere in Texas, you know you're in Texas because about every 2 miles you see another Texas flag. Well, that's how we know we're in Texas. But even without the Texan flags on every store and outlet here, you can just look around and tell we're in northern Texas. So we're going to fill this up here. I just kind of realized I'm going this way. We're going to fill this up here at our tank. I'm going to buy another 10,000 liters and put in this trailer. We're going to get this started downloading, and we'll start finishing the harvest. So that's the wrong tank. So liquid fertilizer, and we'll get another 10,000 liters. There we go. Yep, stuff costs a lot of money on this map. We go through a lot, but come harvest time, we rake it in pretty good. Let's go ahead and get this started loading in the trailer here. So let's get this started filling. We're going to fill that up so we can haul it out to the field. The first thing we want to do, now that we've got the fertilizer loading into the trailer, and I can hear it running over there, well, we need to get the harvester down there. Now I've got a trailer for this header, but we actually don't need it. Because of the back roads here in Texas, we can just drive this straight down there as it is. So here we got a John Deere X9 with a 50-foot header on it. It's a really good setup. Our first harvest allowed us to buy this piece of machinery here. We're going to want to get this down there, and I want to come back and grab one of our trucks, trying to think what's the fastest way down there. With the header attached, we're going to have to go this way. I can go down that road. There's a road down there. Yeah, there's a road down here. You know, we can do it this way, but it's actually kind of difficult because I am going to get a tractor. It's kind of difficult because I don't want to hit any street signs. We can roll that down the road, but we're going to knock over a stop sign or a street sign somewhere. So let's grab our header trailer. We use our little John Deere 7810 here. Right now, this is kind of our, well, I use this, well, actually the JCB is kind of our new, actually wait, just do that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this JCB tractor to move the header down there. This is our go-to tractor for moving stuff because it moves fast. With a high top speed, well, 45 miles an hour, with a decent top speed, we can effectively move equipment with this. So we're going to grab our header trailer. Now here we're harvesting oats. I believe oats are what we have in the semi truck there. Yeah, a lot of my equipment's looking pretty dirty. Well, it's been a busy year so far. I've got a washing station set up there, and yeah, I'm just seeing how dirty my equipment is. I'll be running the equipment to the washer when we're done with it. The harvester, we're about done with the harvester for the year. Unless I decide to buy some new land, which is a possibility. All right, let's get that header loaded up. Now, this can be a little bit tricky, but we should be able to get it on there. That looks good right about there, actually. Oh, yeah, that's not going anywhere. That's like 5 tons of American iron. That ain't going anywhere. All right, let's get this down to the field. Yeah, I see I started down the road, but then I see my mailbox, these street signs up here, and I'm thinking, wow, I do not want to butcher my own back roads just to get the harvester down here. It's some beautiful country out here. Over there, we got a cow farm we could invest in if we are so inclined. For now, we're going to head down here to our oat field. Very carefully. Down by the water tower. Actually, at the end of this road up here. We've got about 4 hectares left to harvest. Now, as I said earlier, I harvested half the field in the last growth stage before it was fully ripe. And now that it is, we're going to harvest the rest. I want to see if there's a difference in the yield. There should be. Here in Big Flats, Texas, in the last growth stage of oat growth, you can mow it for grass. I chose to run the harvester to see what it would do. Now that there's probably a little more than 4 hectares left, there could be 5 hectares left. We're going to use the harvester for the rest. I was kind of testing it out, seeing what we could get. All right, no train coming. Let's get across this. And we'll just park this right here. Oh, there's still some bales down here I've got to get. I didn't get all those bales. Well, let's leave this here. We'll put this back up there. My bale loader is up at the store where I was using it last. Let's go get the harvester and get down here. Actually, while we're here, I want to go get the bale loader. I mentioned the bale loader's up at the store. It is. I'm going to park this tractor up there. The other thing that's up there at the store is our 9RX, which I'm going to need for the bin. I want to haul our field bin down there. The truck is probably about half full of oats already, and I don't want to make extra trips. So since we got to go up here anyway to get the bale loader, and this will show you guys some more of the map, I got to go up there anyway to get the bale loader. I can bring our big John Deere tractor down because I need that to haul the field bin. The field bin, again, it'll make sure that we don't need to make multiple trips. Look at those soybeans. They're coming in nice. This is my first soybean harvest on this map. We'll see how that goes. I love this this big, beautiful country out here. I really like it a lot. Well, I thought I left the bale loader up here. Apparently I didn't, because I don't see it. That's okay, because, well, I could have left it at the end of that field. Well, I needed this tractor anyway. And so here's the store. Needed to change tractors anyway. Yeah, looks like we could use some fuel in the old John Deere here. Now when you start off in this map, you definitely don't have equipment this big. A lot of very fruitful harvests have paid for this equipment, but it's needed. Oh, this is definitely needed. The power of this thing is needed just to tow the field bin. Well, not the field bin itself, that seeder, the seed drill that we have. And then soon here, let's see if there's anything for offer here that we can use. No, but let's go up here to seeders. Right here, that's the air cart I'm looking for, and it's affordable right now, but we need some cushion in our money. You know, I need a little bit of leeway in the money. I can't afford that right now. Right now we're running a 13-meter wide seeder, and that's what I did all this with. But here, after we bring in some more money later this year, we'll sell off that wheat, and for next year we'll have that big seed drill and air cart. I'll probably get a second one of these. Yeah, I'm sorry, there's a lot to get done here, and I was kind of getting my thoughts in order as to what we have to do for July, what I want to get set. And while we're at this, you help me keep an eye out for that bale loader. It's somewhere around here. It must have been at the farm, and I just didn't see it. I was using it last, that field that we were at over by the store. That's where I was using the bale loader last. So I thought it would be over there, but I didn't see it. We'll keep an eye out for it up here. We'll find it. I'd like to look into, at some point, there's a lot of things I want to look into in this farm. There's a lot of variables, questions and things. And one of those things is moving to a different silo system. You know, an in-ground silo system. Because right now we have the flat bottom bins. They work fine for now, but they require a little bit more work. You know what I mean. Let's go ahead and get our field bin hooked up here. This guy can be a bear. At full load, this thing weighs about 150 tons altogether, and it becomes quite the chore to move around. All right, it is empty. For now, we're going to run the harvester down there. and get started on the harvest. Yeah, I left this thing running. I didn't think we'd be gone for that long. All right, let's get the harvester down there. And at some point I may invest in a second one of these. Well, if we end up owning a big field like this here, this cornfield here is the largest field on the map, clocking in at right around 60 hectares. That's about, I don't know, probably like 150 acres or close to it. That's the biggest field here. If we end up owning a field like this, 2 of these harvesters could do us some good. I do love farming in America. There's a lot of great maps for Farming Simulator 22. There's a lot of great maps. But I live in America, and I like American farms. I grew up on American farms like this. It feels like home to me because, well, it is. We have a lot of room here. There's a lot of room in America for big, flat openness. And it's good to find a map like Big Flats, Texas, that's not just flat, but it's also not. Well, there's a lot of terrain in America. America's a big place. There's a lot of things. But when I think of farmland, this is what I think of. The rolling plains with the big silos in the distance. And this is what you see when you drive through parts in Texas or like kind of northwestern California. It's just a big open. Well, you see this in Kansas, Oklahoma. You see the big, just sprawling farmlands. You see this in a lot of places, to be sure. A lot of times I play European maps and I just get frustrated because there's not even enough room on the roads to move a tractor around. I don't know how they do it. Here in America, well, you don't see these things on the highway. You see them on trailers, but I've seen some double-wheel John Deere 8Rs. I have seen those on the highway here. They move some pretty big equipment around here. It's not out of place at harvest time or times when they're working in the fields to see a double-wheel John Deere 8R or even a 9R going down the highway with his flashers on, taking up 2 lanes. All right, whoops. Yeah, I hit the wrong button there. Let's get our header on and hopefully we can get off the trailer fine without hooking it. Yep. Now let's see what kind of yield we get here. Let's get this unfolded. And let's get going. And you kind of really can't tell much, but we're actually at the edge of the map right here. They've done such a good job on this map with the background, you can't even tell it. I mean, unless you look closely. Now that I told you, you probably noticed now that I told you. But yeah, it's not even that noticeable that we're actually on the edge of the map. This is the very southeastern corner of the map. Looks like I want to angle a little bit up this way, get the rest of that oats up there. A little more. Looks like I was changing my angle last time. There we go. All right, I'm gonna let this go. It looks like we're getting about the same yield we were last time. Let's let this go and let's move back over to let's get our field bin down there. Now this, you gotta watch moving this around. 7 axles, it kind of pivots on the center. Got to really watch your turns. And when this thing is full, it can be hard to even drive it in a straight line. It wants to yank around, even with a 26-ton tractor. But it's empty right now and fairly easy to move around. But you got to watch when it swings around that you don't take out one of your fields or a road sign or something. In fact, let's not make this turn so wide. Because if you make a turn too wide, it'll actually kick out around and take out a tree or something. Alright, so carefully around this turn. Hopefully we'll catch up to the combine in time. Yep. You gotta watch not to take out his cornfield over there. Or street signs. You didn't see that. Nothing happened. Nothing to see here. I'll be a little more careful next time. Let's try to keep it just in the middle of the road so we don't take anything out. With all these back roads, there's no traffic on these back roads, and it's easy to forget sometimes, but a train does come down here, as you saw earlier. I think you saw the train. There's no train crossing here. So when you're crossing, especially with big equipment like this, when you're in Big Flats, Texas, always make sure when you cross the train track, there's only one train crossing, and it's down there yonder by the train depot, by the silos down there. So you got to watch when you cross down here. Always make sure the train's not coming from the east. Oh, looks like we might catch the harvester right at the end of this row. Now this thing can be a pain to turn around. One thing you may notice up here, if you look closely, this map does have destructible stalks. You can see where I've driven over the stalks here. So this thing is going to pretty much destroy everything we've harvested, just the stalks that is. But we got to catch up to this harvester and see if we can, yeah, it's going to destroy a lot of this field. It's a nice touch of this map. It makes moving things like this around on the map a little bit destructive, but this thing would destroy in real life quite a bit of crops. But we need to catch up to this harvester and see, whoa, there we go, if we can get this unloaded a little bit. Yep, looks like we caught up just in time. And this field bin will hold a total of 141, I think 141 cubic meters. It makes it great for remote fields that are really large. All right, go ahead and spark this here. Well, while that's going, yeah, you can see here where we've laid quite a destructive path through this field. Turning this thing around, I try to avoid pulling 180s on the field with this thing. We end up with pretty mushed up terrain. Let's check it down here. Oh yeah, we got to find that bale stacker so we can move these bales. Where did we turn around up here? Yeah, it kind of tends to wipe a lot of this out. It doesn't really affect much. It just affects the ground a little bit. Looks like we got some rocks here to deal with, some field stones. We're going to deal with this. This field also needs lime. That just occurred to me. Once we get this harvested, we can take care of that. Let's go ahead and get this turned around up here so that we can get another run of oats. So we definitely got some work to do in this field this month. There's our train. try to at least drive in the same tracks that I did before. Luckily, we got some grass at the end of this field that we can turn around in. So let's see, 2 rows of that, assuming he unloaded everything, which I believe he did. 2 rows of that, or 2 runs of that field gave us about 1 hopper out of that. That's about what I was getting in the last growth stage. It was still green. I was harvesting it still green, and I was getting about that, maybe a little less. But yeah, this right here, we have almost a full hopper from the harvester here. So this field turns out to be a pretty good length. That long field that we have out northwest by the store, I have to stop the harvester midway through each run, which is difficult when we're going north because that means I have to flip the harvester around and empty it, but its hopper just can't handle that. And that was wheat. Now we got soybeans growing in that field over there. It's going to be a different yield, and we might be able to make a full run and do it this way. For right now, let's get up beside the harvester and pick up these oats. I could set the cruise control, but sometimes I just prefer to drive it by myself, by hand. If I set the cruise control down to 6 miles an hour, then I forget I have it set there, and then I have to set it, change it back and forth. All right, looks like we got his hopper empty. Yeah, let's pull up here and wait for him at the end of the field. We'll catch him at the end. And let's have a look, because I'm kind of at a loss here. Let's have a look at where we may have left that bale loader. So here's our map. It's a nice 1X map, good size fields. It's really, this is the perfect, you know, open prairie style American farming. Looks like the bale loader is somewhere at the farm because I don't see anything parked anywhere else. I probably just missed it at the farm. It's not parked anywhere else. We'll check for the bale loader at the farm. That's the header trailer right there. Everything else is parked at the farm. Let's go ahead and empty the rest of the combine here. Now let's wait for him down here. We'll get the rest of this run. But yeah, see, we're down here. You wouldn't even know we're at the edge of the map. It's been done really well. Alright, let's get the last drip of this. There we go. I'm going to jump over and let's see where we jump to. So this has already got a lot of oats in it. We'll deal with those in a little bit. Let's go ahead and get some fertilizing started on these soybeans. I like to get this started going because this has got to be kind of an ongoing thing throughout this month. I got a lot of field work to do on the oat field. That's primarily where we're going to be working, is the oat field. But while we're doing the oat field, this is going to be running in the background. A lot of fertilization to be done. Now this shouldn't destroy these crops. Let's hope not. No, we are good. Now this thing can be tricky to position. I'm looking at getting a better sprayer. There's a big John Deere sprayer with a fixed boom on it I'd like to get, but until then, we are working with this guy here. That would be the wrong button. There we go. Let's get this guy started. There. I'm going to get this one row done here, and then we're going to turn it and head downfield before I like to get you know, this first thing done here before I hire a worker, so they got plenty of headroom to turn around so that they're not banging into or getting stuck on stuff up here. Oh yeah, while we're up here, keep your eye open for that bale loader. It's red and white. It's up here somewhere at the farm. Now, that barn right there on the left, that's the equipment, that's the machine, the driven machines, and that barn right there is for equipment like this, typically. Except for the really big equipment goes there under in the carport, and yeah, there's our bale loader. I see it right there. I saw it there as I was talking. That's generally how I have the equipment laid out. You'll see what I have parked where. Let's get this started here. We'll surely have to go down there and pick up some oats from the harvest down there. I'll get that once we get this guy started here. Kind of like to get something laid out for him. Now, I don't do auto drive courses or course play or any of that stuff on Farming Simulator. I just use the regular AI helpers, and it works good enough for me. Now let's see if I can get lucky with this turnaround. Not quite. This thing can be a little finicky. Honestly, that is good enough for me. We got room to kind of pull this out a little bit, get some more boom on the field. That is good for me. All right, he's set going on that. And it looks like we're just in time for this, unless he's down there and he's full, which could be the case. Let's find out. And let's just go down the way we came. Well, let's go down this way here. Looks like he might have a full grain tank. I don't see the auger, though. What's he doing down there? Looks like he's got the header up. Oh. The auger is not out. What's he doing down there? What on earth is he doing? And this is what happens sometimes when you leave helpers to themselves. He thinks he's completed the task, which means he's going to park my harvester right in the middle of all these oats. What is he doing down there? What did he do? I left him to his own devices. Looks like we have to fire ourselves a farmhand. Okay. He sensed I'm back in range, and he's back to... All right, guys, I don't know, but here we go. See, I didn't want to get in the harvester because the second I get in the harvester, it starts destroying crops. Well, we're back to this now. I'll finish that up myself. Boy, see, this is what happens when you leave farmhands to their own devices. They decide, well, the boss ain't looking, so I'll just drive the harvester around with the header up. See, I looked down there at the field, and I saw him driving with it looked like the header was up, but I didn't see the auger out. I couldn't figure what he was doing. I've never, in however many years, I've never seen that. I'm going to go ahead and just park this here. I'm going to go see what he's doing in here. Yep. I'm going to let him finish this row. I'm going to take over the controls, and we're going to get this done. as long as we got this going, why don't we check and see if that other worker's doing what he's supposed to be doing? No, he is stopped. Perhaps he was the one that thought he completed. It said someone completed their task. Apparently he thinks he's done. That's what that warning was I got up on my screen. This guy was just having a joyride on the combine. That guy over there thought he was done. I've seen that happen before there on that field. I'm going to have to go check on that. See, even running with hired workers on your farm, you always got to pay attention to what's going on. There's always fun multitasking to be done. Now, I could get the auto drive course and stuff for this map, but I prefer to play as much as I can hands-on, get things done myself. But there's quite a bit to manage when you got 3 fields of this size, and these aren't even the big fields. This right here is a small field on this map, and it's not that big. When you have equipment this large, this field is not that big. Let's get this last run, and then I'll go check on that worker over... What field is that? Field 10. So we got field 10, field 16, field 10, and field 1. Those are our 2. Field 10 and 1. So we're going to check on field 10 here in a moment. For right now, let's get this done. Now, once we get this done, what we got to do here, obviously, we need to get this straw up. So that's going to be the first priority, is getting this straw up, especially, it's going to start raining here in an hour. So it's a good thing we're getting this done now. Getting the straw up. Now, it's going to be raining. We're going to be rained out for about an hour. And I'll find something to do in that time. Once we get the straw up, on this field anyway, we're going to want to get some lime down. I'm going to want to tear this field up, because before the new crop, whatever we plant here, which I'm still not sure what we're going to be planting here, I want to get the field ripped up and tilled. So we're going to be doing full field work on this field. We just bought this field this year. We're just harvesting what was already planted here. So this field is going to be great fun work on what is, for this map, a pretty small field. Get everything done here, get this field fully reworked and prepped for whatever we decide to plant here. The other ones, we're just running fertilizer this month, and they're set until next year when we harvest them. Or rather, later this year when we harvest them. I forgot, because last year we did winter wheat, and that was over the winter. Now we're double cropping on fields 10 and field 1. What we're doing is we're double cropping wheat and soybeans. This map has a custom geo, among many other things. This map has a custom geo, custom soil map, etc. And we're able to double crop some things, and we're doing winter wheat and soybeans on those for right now. I didn't tear up the field over last year. When I harvested the wheat from last year, and when we planted the soybeans, we just used the seed drill and just drilled them directly into the wheat. And after the soybeans this year, we may do something with them. For now, let's pick up the rest of these oats here and see what we're working with here. Whoa! Oh, that scared me. I said watch out for the train earlier, remember that? Boy, I was sitting here like this, and I was like, man, what's that engine? What's that engine sound coming from? I might have likely whipped this thing around just in time to hit that, but luckily So let's get this offloaded into the field bin and see what we're working with, and I need to check on that worker over there in field 10. Let's have a look at what kind of yield from this field we got so far. So we got about, what was it, about 44,000 liters in that semi-trailer, plus this. That all came from this field. We're going to be reworking the bins also this month. I'm going to be reworking the bins. When I say reworking, I don't mean installing new ones as I proposed. I mean moving the augers around. I would like to install new bins there, but that's in the future. when I got money for it. Right now, when I said reworking, yeah, moving the augers around, because the augers right now are hooked up for wheat. I need to move the augers over to a silo for oats. So this is holding it at 56,000 liters. Is that what it, am I reading that right? 56,000 liters? So that's a little over 100,000 liters of oats from these 8 hectares. That's pretty good for us, and this straw is going to do good for us as well. Let's get this folded up and get this header put away. All right, let's see if we can get this big guy wrestled up onto the trailer here. You know, I was watching a farming video on YouTube the other day, real farming video, and I was watching some farm in Indiana. I was watching a John Deere X9 just like this, offload the header onto a trailer, and this is pretty much, whoops, exactly how it looks. And we just kind of hope that it sits there. But again, that thing weighs about, I don't know, that thing may weigh as much as 6 tons. I don't think it's going anywhere. Let's park this here for right now. I'm just dying to check on this guy and see what his malfunction is. Absolutely nothing. He thought the job was done. It's clearly not. So let's just get him started again. He seemed to think the job was done. It did that last year as well. Stopped right there. But this is all looking good up here. This is looking good, looking fine. Let's grab this guy. Now that I know where we left our bale loader, let's go ahead and get that. You know, we had to come up to the store anyway to grab the X9, or sorry, the 9RX. Moving around on this map. Normally, I'm not one, you saw me switching vehicles there. Normally, I'm not one to do that. But when you've got a total of about 100 acres of fields, and that's really nothing on this map, when you got a total of about 100 acres worth of fields spread across 3 fields that you're doing multiple tasks on, it's kind of a necessity to swap between vehicles, especially when the computer is controlling, or when you have hired workers, controlling a couple of them. That's a nice looking field right there. I need to focus on getting stuff off the fields. Rain's going to hit about half an hour. Well, we're going down to field 18 right now. While I'm down there, I need to remember to cover up that bend and try to get it off that field. You do not want 100 tons of machinery stuck on a field when it starts raining. I don't want to create ruts and mud tracks on that field. Now that said, you are going to see some mud and things like that. That is not built into this map. That is a mod that I have. I try not to speak out of character, but I am playing a game and I'm addressing things here on the map. The mud and from the rain and stuff you're going to see is a separate mod from the mud system, not on this map. Everything else you're seeing is a part of this map. Features of this map are destructible corn, destructible stalks in general. Whoops, didn't mean to hit that ditch. And the soybeans and rows, things like that are features of this map. However, the mud system that you'll see is a separate mod on PC. Thank you. Let's get this down to field 18. Or, why am I pulling this trailer? I meant to get the bale loader. I feel like someone was talking through the screen at there. I could feel the comments already. Yeah, I meant to get that. I mean, this is going down to field 10 eventually, but this is what I meant to grab. I'm glad I caught that halfway, or before I got halfway there, rather. I keep trying to tow that fertilizer tank down there, and this is what we're taking down there. I'm also going to need the baler. Yeah, first and foremost, well, I need to get the bales up that are already down there. We need to get the baler down there too. There's just a couple things we need to get down there is all. See how this field was going? Pretty good. Now I do have, the reason I was checking if that tractor was going to destroy these soybeans, another mod that I have, which is not the map, but a mod that I have is that I forget exactly what it's called. If I were to drive over that field with this tractor, it would destroy it. It's basically like enhanced crop destruction. And that's why I got to be careful what I take onto these fields. That John Deere is fine. It's got narrow tires, and so does the sprayer behind it. I try to keep things as realistic as I can here. And while I'm speaking of metagame, while I'm speaking in game terms in the third person here outside the game, we have on 3-day months, which is pretty adequate for fields this size, 3-day months, and usually I run at 3 times speed as I'm running right now, but sometimes I slow it down to 1 for busy harvest months. Anyhow, back to the game, back to what we're doing here. Let's get this in place here. This is one of a few tools we're going to need on this field. We're going to need quite a bit of equipment down here, but this is one thing we need now. This along with getting things off the field before the rain kicks in. Let's just park this here for now. Rain's gonna keep us off these fields while, for that hour that it's raining today. And I don't know how that worker is going to do while he's fertilizing. We'll find out. Let's get this. Well, we might be able to use this time. Actually, while it's raining, what we could be doing is shifting the bins around and getting this into a new silo. For now, let's just get it off the field. For now, I'm going to get this off the field and up here a ways. We can work on getting some more equipment down here. No one's using this road right now, so we can park this right here for the time being. Work on moving stuff, get it set for the weather to change. We are now done with this harvester for this year, unless I buy another field later in the year, which is a possibility. We're going to bring in a lot of money off this field from the straw. We might be able to afford another field, but, that aside, if we don't buy another field, what I'm saying is then we are done with the harvester for the year. So I'm going to get it packed up as if we're done with it, because we most likely are for the year, which means getting it cleaned up and put away. Let's go ahead and drop this off here. Take the header back up to the farm. Oh, let's watch this guy's crops here. Well, his crops are harvested, but I'd rather not drive on another farmer's field. Well, rather, I won't drive on another farmer's field. I mean, I'd rather, let's not accidentally. Let's get this turned around. Let's have a look at how our guy is doing on the field there. He's probably going to need to refill soon. I'm going to want to run that tank out to him and get him filled. He may be able to work through that field in the rain. I'll keep an eye on that tractor. If I was driving that tractor, well, we'll see what happens. I'm going to haul this over to the wash station and park it there. This tractor, this was absolutely worth the $300,000 for this JCB Fast Track, just to move stuff around. When you have a big farm, it's worth it just to have a tractor with a good top speed, just to move things around. So during the rain, yeah, we'll be working with these silos. I'm going to park this over by our power washer for now. Now, while I'm thinking of it, let's drop this off. While I'm thinking of it, I like to keep my fuel topped off here. Oh, I just had a thought. I think I left that auger running. Well, that's okay, because I need to move it here soon anyway. Let's get this topped off with fuel. Now, while we're up here, what else? Oh yeah, I need to move that fertilizer tank down there and refill that tractor. And I'll see about situating that, because I can't drive over that field with this tanker, so we're gonna have to move that tractor and get him refueled or refilled. So I'm going to pull this over on the side of the field up here on the west side. It looks like, well, is he still working over there? It's pretty slow working speed on that. Looks like he's still working on it. Let's go check on him and see how he's doing here. Yeah, he's still got some of the tank, but he could use a top off. Well, we can finish this row here for sure. Although the rain's about to start here. It's forecasted to start at well, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to finish this row. Let's finish this row, and let's just get it off the field to be safe. I don't need a tractor stuck in the field digging up crops, making ruts. So let's finish this row, and we'll refill it. And then that yellow auger over there, I'm going to move that one bin over, and we're going to shuffle the oats around and shuffle some equipment around, so that when the rain's clear, we can hit field number 18 and get to work there. And then later this afternoon, we'll get this fertilizer back on track here on field 10 and field 1. And there comes the rain. We're about done with this row. All right, guys, thanks so much for following along with me here today. We're going to pick up right from here in the next episode and keep going. We're going to finish fertilizing these fields, and we're going to get to work on field 18. For now, I'm going to get this off the field, and I'll be here with you guys in the next episode. We're going to pick up right here. Thanks a lot. Don't forget to hit like if you like the video, leave a comment below as to what you think, and subscribe if you want to see more content here on CCM29. Guys, I'll see you in the next video. It's been a pleasure.